Knife crime has become a major source of concern in the UK, even described as an epidemic these days. Since the beginning of the year, 41 stabbings have been reported fatal, with both adults and teens among the victims and attackers. A huge debate on how to tackle the problem has been pushed to the forefront. The UK Home Secretary has been holding emergency meetings with chief police officers last week to find a way forward as the surge in knife attacks gets dubbed a national emergency. Meanwhile, this British supermarket giant seems to be adding its 2 cents to address the problem. They have announced they won't be selling single knives anymore by the end of April.
We know single knives are the most common knife products to be stolen, and that is why we have chosen to remove these items from our stores.
The Home Office has welcomed the move. We'll find out if locals think it can actually make any difference.
It's a very good idea because they're not going to spend £50 to buy 10 knives.
I think the problem is that it's fine because they've tried to obviously stop selling to under 18s, but that doesn't seem to work. So if you stop selling knives, there are people who are older who might need a knife.
Perhaps it is a good idea. I don't know if it'll solve the problem or not.
Selling one knife or selling a packet of knives, I don't think it'll make a difference.
Well, usually they get it from home, innit? So
a lot of these guys get knives from their homes. It's not that they go out and buy them. They can readily access them in their homes.
We also caught up with a former Metropolitan Police officer for a professional take on the knife crime situation.
Well, I think it's a nice gesture, but it's not going to make a dent on the problem as a whole. What we've got to deal with here is a very, very stringent legislature so that the punishments and the deterrents for carrying knives in these circumstances are extremely high. This kind of thing is a step in the right direction, but it's a very small step and it's a very long journey we've got to go on. So we've got to look to our government and we've got to look to our legislators to give us the tools to deal with this. But these tools need to be very, very powerful ones because we can't continue down this road. It's very bad indeed. Well, it's a kind of cultural thing that's taken place, isn't it? And to address that, you've got to go right through, sort of forming and forcing social changes, and that's going to take a long time. And I think, you need to look at government changes and social changes to try to affect that, but we have to do something in the shorter term. Now, we have to put a sticking plaster on it, if you like, and that sticking plaster, again, needs to be increasing the amount of stop and search that we do and the freedom of movement the police have to exercise that. But also, we have to put the policeman in the perpetrator's mind so that they are the deterrent that will perhaps stop these youngsters from carrying these knives and carrying out these awful attacks is a very, very stringent one indeed. We've almost got to go back to a Victorian attitude to this because, they dealt with these things at various times after one war or the other, and they did it with, with almost extreme legislation. But because this is an extreme problem, I think that's the kind of extreme cure that, we're looking for.